Welcome to the 7th installment of our RF chat. So again, one of the top questions, Squelch. Do we touch it or don't we? Coming up. So, Squelch, do we use it? The quick answer that I always say is no. So before we even get into the conversation of Squelch, I want to drive your attention first on your wireless systems that are multi-channel, frequency agile systems. Some systems would have 100, 150, even 200 preset frequencies. Now, if you have interference in one, the only thing to do is really find other channels. That's why you have 100 and up to 200 preset frequencies para mahanap mo kung saan yung malinis, saan yung tahimik. Use all of those presets. Doesn't really matter, di ba? You're not taking anything away from anyone. Find a frequency that's clean, that works for you, and that works for the situation. Now, what happens ba with Squelch? Squelch should be your last resort. Meaning you will only use it in certain situations. A high RF area where even na-scan mo na and wala na talaga kayo mahanap. Then you move on to Squelch. First, you have to realize when you do Squelch is like squinting. So when we're squinting, we're trying to focus on something, a limited area, and everything else becomes blurry. Diba? Ganyan tayo mag-squint. So, it's like gano'n rin sa RF. You're trying to make your RF system not mind yung mga iba pang other frequencies dumi. So, let's say in a given in a situation where there's high RF traffic and there's a lot of RF happening. Although ito yung transmission mo, it's stronger, but there's a lot of other strong RF. So, what you do, Squelch is like a gate na inaangat mo. So you have to bring it to a point where it's above yung noise, and para yung sayo lang talaga, yung RF mo yung strongest, yun matatanggap. But you also have to understand the effect. When you apply Squelch, yung reception ng receiver mo, yung reception becomes shorter. So yun yung downside nun. What if your receiver was far from the stage, dun sa FOH pa? Then it won't work. Kaya marami nagrereklamo, bakit minsan may situation na umaandar lang yung mic nila, they're only 2 meters away. Farther than that, wala na daw. Pag ganun, tinatanong lagi natin, nasaan yung swells nyo? Todo po. Parang ganun. So then, ibaba nyo yan. And then everything becomes okay. Now, for the older guys, if you want an analogy of Squelch, it's like nung panahon ng mga CB radios and all that, di ba? Pag dati may CB tayo sa kotse, and then bumabiyahe tayo, we were on a channel, and then may nasasagap tayo na ibang frequency, na ibang grupo naman na ayaw natin mapahinggan. Di ba? We apply Squelch para we get to essentially shrink our coverage so that makukuha lang natin yung those that we really want to listen to in an area that's closer to us than makukuha pa natin yung mga iba. So that's kind of how Squelch is. If you know how to use it, it will work for you. But generally, I just say if you don't know what Squelch is, don't even touch it. In some situations, you will only use Squelch in high RF areas or when you have a lot of RF na ginagamit at the same time. But at that point, it would be best also to use your software for you to effectively manage your RF.